I have the hot tub warming up even as we speak, any minute now. And I've got my Norwegian TV going this morning. Things are toasty warm, snowy outside. Now, here's what I've been thinking about. What if there's something peculiar about the way the male personality is structured that causes alienated men to be more violent than alienated women? And by alienated, I mean they don't fit in anywhere, no friends. Like yesterday, I was at the bus stop, and this guy was just yak, 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 yak. And he looked like a pretty normal guy, but he also looked like he'd maybe shoplifted a bunch of Scholl's foot inserts. Like, what in the hell did this guy need with 3 Scholl's foot inserts, one of them being for women? Anyway, he's just yakking up a storm with me. He must be lonely, etc. So, what do men do when they're lonely? Alienated. Not just lonely, cannot connect with other people because they're repulsive for some reason. I mean, I struggle with this constantly. And then what do women do? I'm struggling with whether or not to share this with you, but I once took this course, and this course lasted like 6 days, and on one of the evenings we did this thing called sex withholds. And so you were to write down on six little pieces of paper something about your sex life you didn't want anybody to know, and then you put them all in the hat, and then the guy would pull one out of the hat and he'd say, "Okay, so everybody who's ever masturbated with a piece of liver, stand up." And, 3 people out of 100 stand up. And he's, "Okay, now, everybody who's ever done anything sexual with your sibling, stand up." Well, a few more people stand up, getting a little courage. Pretty soon, like 20, 30 people at a time are standing up for some of these embarrassing things because it's getting okay, and they're laughing, having a whoopee time. And so now let's see, where the hell was I going with this? So at some point he asked, how many sexual partners have you had? And there were 3 women in the room who'd had more than 50 sexual partners, and they were not attractive people. And I thought, is that what a woman does who is lonely, who's alienated, wants to make some connection? And 2 of these women were out there trying to make things happen in the world. They were making money, they were pushing their lives forward. But I thought, is that what women do who are alienated? Men, straight men don't have that option. And so what do they do? Well, so here's a little thing I've read about biology and men. There's this thing called, I think it's called sexual selection in primates. And that's where, and I suppose it's true of other mammals also, and that it got like lions. Notice that the male lion is quite a bit bigger than the female. And what's going on there is that if the females eat something that is found all in one place, then they form gangs to protect the food. And so then when you've got a bunch of females all in one place, then the males fight each other for sole access to the females. And so gorillas, much bigger than the females. Chimpanzees, not a lot bigger, but bigger and stronger than the females. Okay, now, so then there are plenty of primates, monkeys mostly, that they are not They don't eat a thing that's clustered. Whatever they eat is all spread out. So every male has an equal opportunity to procreate. So the males and the females are the same size and same strength. No difference. Now, if you'll buy me coffee, I'll tell you about these fascinating monkeys down in Brazil that the females do eat something that all clusters together, but the males are not able to fight each other because their diet doesn't provide enough calories for fighting. Plus, they live so high in the trees that one little mistake and you're dead. And so the females don't like rowdy males. And so there's an evolutionary compensation for the inability to fight for access to the females. But you got to buy me coffee for me to explain this story to you. Okay, so at any rate, notice that human males are bigger and stronger than females. So at one point, we, like chimpanzees, were bigger, or no, the female ate something that clustered, and so then the males fought each other for access. And so then in such primates, the male is not only bigger and stronger, but he's completely oriented toward status. And this is true of chimpanzees, very aware of their status within the group. So if you have a young man who is alienated, and I mean, if you're in a gang, at least you know where your status is. You're at the turds have all rolled downhill. You're at the bottom of the heap. But if you don't belong to anything or anybody, you got no status at all. And I'm just wondering, I don't know, is it possible then that a male who has no status whatsoever is a dangerous male? That maybe a solution to our violence problems in the United States is to try to reduce the number of males that are out there alienated. No connections, no sense of what their status is within a group. Now, I know that many of us are trying to get away from any sort of group identity. Well, that's all fine and good, but I think you got to start out with a group identity and then you transcend it. Someone wise once said, you cannot transcend winning as a loser. To transcend winning, you have to have won, and then you leave it behind, you rise above it. And I think the same is true of status and belonging. To transcend belonging, to transcend status, you have to have had it, and then you rise above it. So that's what we got going on this morning. That damn Norwegian TV is getting too hot, and the hot tub's not hot enough. Let me know if you got a hot tub. God, I need one.